Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the next video in my Europa Universalis IV playlist. Last week we saw the beginning tutorial. Apologies that the microphone stopped working, I didn't see that. So this week I'm going to go ahead and try the next tutorial, so it should be very good. This will work on trade and other things like that before, and like I think like other ideas as well. So let's take a look now. Without further ado, let's have some fun. So tutorial, let's do the advanced one. Last week you did the basic, now advanced. This part of the tutorial will go through the interface to explain what everything does. It will also go through the map modes and teach you how trade works. So let's begin. I definitely need these tutorials because, you know, I'm not great or anything. Wow. Okay. This chapter will go through the interface and explain what the interface does. Next. Ducats are one of the primary resources and are used to pay for everything from unit recruitment to building constructions. Manpower is an important resource that puts a limit on how many soldiers your nation can have. The manpower cap represents 10 years of manpower. Manpower is an important resource that puts a limit on how many soldiers your nation can have. Interesting. Recruiting a regiment will cost 1,000 manpower per regiment. Recruiting armies that have taken casualties in war will also drain your manpower. Reinforcing, excuse me. Okay. So manpower is the limit of how much army I can have. Stability represents how stable your nation is. Stability is connected to unrest, tax income, global trade power, and more. Stability can also be increased in the Stability and Extension tab and cost administrative powers. Okay. Stability can be lost through random events, breaking truces, changing state religion, or having your ruler die in combat. Corruption represents the level of corruption in your nation. Corruption is connected to unrest, spy network construction, power costs, and more. Corruption increases over time due to unbalanced research, overextension, and lack of religious unity. It can be decreased by high stability and being ahead of time in administrative or diplomatic technology. Prestige is gained by winning battles, wars, or through random events. Prestige gives your troops increased morale, legitimacy, and better relations over time. Only republics are affected by Republican tradition, and it primarily reduces national unrest. The Republican tradition is lost by keeping the same ruler for several terms and is gained slowly every year. Low Republican tradition is associated with an increased stability cost. Only monarchies are affected by legitimacy. Interesting. And it represents how legitimate the rule of your monarch is considered. Legitimacy affects unrest, religious tolerance, and diplomatic reputation. Power projection. Power projection is a value that reflects how good your nation is at flexing its muscles. By selecting rivals and by taking aggressive actions against them, your power projection can increase. Having power projection can give you bonuses to your country, privateering, winning wars, embargoing, and support rebels, which are examples that increase your power projection. Envoys are characters you use to perform different tasks. Merchants are used to collect income from trade and steer trade. Colonists are used to found new colonies. Diplomats are used to perform diplomatic actions. Missionaries are used to convert the religion of a province. Envoys will return when they have finished performing their tasks. You have 3 resources which combined are called monarch points. These are administrative power, diplomatic power, and military power. You gain monarch points each month, and the amount depends on your rulers and your advisor skills. Alerts notify you about information that you might want to do something about. Left-clicking an alert will take you to where you can do something about it, while right-clicking the alert will hide it. Red alerts are urgent, yellow alerts are important, and green alerts are non-urgent. The diplomatic offers from other countries also appear here. The production interface is designed to help you make production more efficient and easy to use. You can learn more about it in the production chapter in the basic tutorial. The Holy Roman screen allows you to see which nation is the Holy Roman Emperor, who the electors are. And also view all the member states. Crazy. This is amazing. Okay, cool. The papacy. If your state religion is Catholic, you will have access to the mechanics related to the papacy. The papacy view gives you information about papal influence and what you can spend it on. Every time the Pope dies, a new one must be chosen from the active cardinals. You may invest papal influence to increase the chance of you being the next Curia controller. The Outliner helps you by giving you fast information about the progress and statuses of armies, navies, buildings, envoys, and more. Awesome. Very cool. Score represents how well your nation is doing and is divided into 3 categories. The categories are administrative, diplomatic, and military. You can view score comparison in the ledger to see what gives you score. Map modes will change the information given to you on the world map. The next chapter will go through them in more detail. Map modes are a tool to help you better get information about the world you play in. The default map mode is the terrain map mode. Okay. The political map mode will attach all the provinces in different colors, one for each nation. The political map mode can make it easier to see borders and where a nation has provinces around the world. Trade map mode. The trade map mode shows you which provinces belong to what trade zone. In addition, it also shows you where where trade flows, and it is here you order your merchants to steer trade in a certain direction. You will learn more about trade steering later. The Imperial map mode shows which provinces belong to the Holy Roman Empire. Green provinces are imperial provinces, orange are the electors, blue are the free cities, and purple is the emperor. You may notice that one of your provinces, Brescia, belong to the Holy Roman Empire, while you as Venice do not. The religious map mode shows you the spread of religion around the world. This will make it easy to see which provinces are not of your state religion and where you might find friends or foes. The diplomatic map mode gives you information about where your cores are, and where your allies are, and where your enemies are. The green stripes show you your core provinces that you do not own. Clicking on a province belonging to another nation will update the diplomatic map mode with that nation's information. More map modes. There are many more map modes to help you get information about what is going on in the game. Try clicking on one of the additional map mode buttons and have a look. Cool. Click religious. Very cool. Okay. Okay. Next chapter, we'll go to trade in more detail. Really cool so far. Trade is an important part of Europa Universalis IV. The world is divided up in different trade nodes, with each having a different number of provinces in them. Provinces produce different trade goods, and the trade value of those goods is transported to their respective trade nodes. Trade nodes are visible on the map as either floating buoys or cities, and they have light blue stripes connecting each other. Click Venezia to continue. Click Venezia. The trade value in a trade node comes from the provinces that trade there. You can either collect income from the trade value or steer the trade to the next trade node. The trade value in a trade node comes from the provinces that trade there. Okay, so the more provinces that trade at your node, the trade value goes up in that node. You can either collect income from the trade value or steer the trade to the next trade node. Value. Value or steer the trade to the next trade node. Trade power is a very important value that determines how much of the trade in a trade node you control. The more trade you control, the more income you can collect, the more trade value you can transport forwards. Okay. So my current trade power is 116.4. Okay. Your merchants can perform two different actions in a trade node. Collect from trade will collect income from trade. The amount of trade power you have compared to your competitors determines how many ducats you gain in trade income. Remember to unpause the game. Have a merchant collect from the trade node in Venice trade node to continue. Remember to unpause the game. Okay. The second action your merchant can perform is transfer trade power. This will transfer trade value from one node to another. The amount of trade power you have compared to your competitors determines how much trade value is transferred. Select the Alexandria province and then click on the button to go to the trade node. So we know Alexandria is in Egypt. Here. Transfer trade power. The trade map mode shows you where the different trade nodes are, which provinces belong to them, and also how trade is steered. As you see here, you are now steering trade from Alexandria to Venice. Trade can only flow in the direction the arrows are pointing. Some trade nodes are called end nodes, which means trade cannot be steered away. Venice and Genoa are two examples of end nodes. Trade power determines how much trade value is transferred from one trade node to another. Trade power directly affects how large portion of trade in a trade node you control. Trade power comes from provinces and from lightships that are protecting trade. These are also ideas and a diplomatic advisor that can affect global trade power. Select your ships in port in Venice. Select my ships. Select my ships. There we go. Light ships can be ordered to protect trade. This means they will patrol the trade node and increase the amount of trade power you have in that node. Having your ships protect trade is very important for increasing trade income. Have your ships protect trade in a node. So you can see here, it costs 0.32 maintenance. So the only port where this will be of value, or there are two, is both Constantinople and Alexandria. So let's select Alexandria. The easiest way of increasing your trade power is building more light ships and having them protect trade. Barks that are protecting trade increase your trade power in that trade node by 3. Barks that are protecting your ship. Light ships. Cool. Click the production interface in the top left hand to continue. Each bark protecting in a trade node increases the trade power by 3. Higher level light ships have a higher trade power. Interesting. Naval units. Bark. Each bark protecting trade in a trade node increases the trade. Select bark from the list to the left, and click on the green provinces on the map to start building them. Remember to unpause the game. Okay. Build 3 light ships. Okay. Okay, cool. This concludes the end of the trade chapter of the tutorial. Hopefully you've gained a better grasp of how trade works in Europa Universalis IV. I sure have. Alright. And so, with that in mind, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Like to be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.